Everyone is talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Fatcoin, even Trump coin. But do you know what actually makes them tick? Like, what actually makes this magic internet money work? Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. But here's something wild to think about. Back in the days, do you know that someone actually spent 10,000 Bitcoin to buy 2 pizzas? Yep, just 2 pizzas. Sounds bizarre, right? But, well, those Bitcoins were worthless back then. But today, those Bitcoin are approximately $1 billion at a price of $100,000 Bitcoin each. That's probably the most expensive meal in history. Makes me wonder, what's the craziest thing you've actually spent money on? And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to crypto. So stick around, because in this video, we'll be decoding the world of cryptocurrencies in a way that even your grandma could explain it to our book club. Oh, I'm serious. It's going to be fun. It's going to be simple. And trust me, you'll find out what the hype is all about. What exactly is cryptocurrency? Well, think of it as digital money that lives entirely online and doesn't need banks, government, or even a vault to keep it safe. It's like monopoly money, except people actually use it to buy things. Well, sort of. But here's the twist. Behind every Bitcoin, behind every Ethereum, every Dogecoin lies a genuine piece of technology called the blockchain. Sounds fancy, right? But don't worry, it's not as complicated as it seems. In fact, it's the secret sauce that makes cryptocurrency actually work. Let's explain it like this. Imagine that every time someone makes a move in Monopoly, it is written down and verified by every player in the game. This will make it impossible for that person to cheat on their next move. Why? Because every player has a copy of the move carried out in the game. Which means you can go to the bathroom, you can take a nap, you can even go to dinner with family and still come back to resume that same game where you left off, because no one can cheat. Why? There is a record of every single move done in that Monopoly game. That's exactly what the blockchain does. And here's where it gets even cooler. No one owns the blockchain. Not the government, not the bank, not BlackRock, not even Elon Musk. Why? Because it's decentralized, which is just a fancy word of saying it's powered by regular people like you and me. Pretty revolutionary, no? Let's get back to how it all started. Let's take a trip back memory lane to 2008. The world was in the middle of financial crisis. Trust in banks were at an all-time low, and then out of nowhere, a mysterious figure named Satoshi Nakamoto pops up with an idea that would change money forever. But here's the kicker, no one really knows who Satoshi is. Seriously, it could be a genius programmer, a group of tech wizards, or who knows, maybe even your neighbor Bob. But Satoshi disappeared shortly after Bitcoin started making waves, leaving behind nothing but a revolutionary invention. And that invention, Bitcoin. But wait, Bitcoin isn't just digital money, is it? It's built on something even more incredible, the blockchain. And like I said earlier, think of the blockchain as Bitcoin's magical ingredient, the thing that makes it work without banks and middlemen. Satoshi's genius wasn't just about inventing Bitcoin, it's about creating a system where you don't need to trust anyone. Why? Because mathematics does all the work. Imagine if every transaction you made was verified by a room full of really smart calculators instead of a bank. Well, that's what the blockchain does. Pretty cool, right? Now that you know where all this started, let's dive a little bit deeper into how this blockchain magic actually works. Imagine you have a magical notebook, and every time someone writes on a page, that page is locked in a super secure safe. Then copies of that safe are sent out to thousands of people around the world. No one can change what's inside, but everyone agrees that it is legit. That is blockchain. But here's what makes it pretty revolutionary. No one owns that notebook. Not the government, not the bank, nobody. It's completely decentralized. Instead of one central authority holding all the power, the blockchain is powered by the people. Thousands, even millions of them working together to keep it secure. Now, here's where things get really cool. The blockchain is super transparent. Anyone can look at it and see what's been written. Every single transaction, every single record. But don't worry, Bob. It's not like your embarrassing purchase history is going to be on full display. All those baby oil you keep buying on Amazon. Well, don't worry. It's all encrypted. So while the transactions are visible, your identity stays private. And the best part, once something is written in the blockchain, it can be erased or altered. It's like carving into a digital stone. That's why people trust the blockchain so much. Why? It's transparent, it's secure, and it's unchangeable. And I know this is an oversimplification of what the blockchain does, but do you really want me to go into decentralized ledger technology, MicroStrategy, optimistic rollup, ZK rollups, and other technical jargons? See, I study computer science, and even thinking about those terms gives me a headache. So let's leave those to the nerds and the Bitcoin maxes. Now that we've unlocked the magic of blockchain, let's see how it actually enables cryptocurrency transactions. Let's imagine that you're out for a coffee. Nothing fancy, just your usual latte, right? But this time, instead of pulling out your credit card or cash, you decided to pay with Bitcoin. How does that even work? Well, let's break it down. First, you open up your crypto wallet. Think of this as your digital piggy bank, right? Your wallet has two keys. A public key, which is like your crypto email address, and a private key, which is like your super secret password. Well, the public key is what you share to receive Bitcoin, but the private key, well, that's for your eyes only. Lose it and poof, your coins are gone forever. So you tap your wallet app and it sends Bitcoin to the coffee shop public key. The network then gets to work. Now, imagine a room full of really smart accountants checking the book. They are looking at your transactions and saying, yep, Chika has got Bitcoin and wants to send it for a latte. Huh? Yeah, that's stupid, but yeah, let's go with that. But instead of smart accountants, replace those with hundreds or thousands of machines called miners. They verify your transaction and then make sure everything is legit. So it's kind of like when your card reader at the coffee shop says approved, but faster. But once your transaction is verified, it gets bundled into a block and added to the blockchain. The coffee shop gets its Bitcoin, you get your latte, and everybody is happy. No middleman, no delays, just pure blockchain magic. Now that you know how transactions work, let's talk a bit about these miners and their what I would call the ultimate treasure hunt. Speaking of miners, no, not the kind where you dig up gold or diamond, but the digital kind. Think of miners as modern-day treasure hunters, solving puzzles to win that shiny digital coin, be it Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or whatever treasure they're after. But here's the twist. These puzzles aren't your everyday Sudoku. No, they are insanely complex math problems that only supercomputers can solve. So, picture a race where thousands of miners around the world are competing to crack the code first. The winner gets to add a new block to the blockchain and get that sweet reward in cryptocurrency. Miners are essentially verifying transactions, making sure that everything checks out before adding them to a blockchain. To do that, they solve this crazy math problem called cryptographic hashes. The first one to solve it yells, "Got it!" and gets the reward with brand new coins. It's like finding treasure in a digital jungle. And trust me, these miners work so hard, your computer might just start sweating just by hearing about it. Mining takes a ton of energy and processing power, and it's not something your everyday computer can do. Definitely not your old junk from Walmart. But all that hard work comes at a price: energy. Mining uses so much electricity that people often joke that the biggest rival to Bitcoin isn't other coins but climate change itself. Now, let's talk about getting into the crypto roller coaster, because it's like strapping into an actual roller coaster ride. One day, you're checking your Bitcoin wallet and it feels like you're a millionaire. And then the next day, you're actually Googling how to make gourmet ramen. Why? Because the prices took a nosedive. That's why it's called a crypto roller coaster. And here's what's so wild about cryptocurrencies, right? Because the prices are so insanely volatile. A single tweet, a government announcement, or even Elon Musk sneezing can send the market soaring or crashing. Imagine trying to predict the weather, but instead of rain and sun, it's riches are broke. But the thrill doesn't just stop there, does it? Cryptocurrencies isn't just about price swings, it's also about how well the system works or doesn't. Take transaction speeds, for example. Some blockchains can handle a handful of transactions per second. Compare that to, say, Visa, which can process thousands of transactions per second. So it's just like trying to squeeze 1 million Beyonce fans into a tiny concert venue. That's not gonna work, is it? And then there's the elephant in the room: energy. Mining Bitcoin takes so much electricity that you could probably power a small country with it. But hey, that's part of the excitement, isn't? High risk, high reward, and a whole lot of unpredictability. It's not for the faint of heart, but for some, that's exactly what makes cryptocurrency so exceptionally thrilling. But the ultimate question is your crypto safe? If you're putting your hard-earned money into something digital, you've got to ask, is this really safe? Can someone steal my Bitcoin? Can someone steal your Bitcoin? Well, only if you hand them over your private key or fall for one of those "send me Bitcoin and I'll double it" scam. If someone is promising you free money, bro, run faster than you would from your neighbor's weird pyramid scheme. But here's the good news. Crypto is built on something called cryptography. Sounds fancy, right? But don't worry, it's simpler than it sounds, right? Cryptography is just what makes the transaction locked up tighter than your neighbor's Wi-Fi password. It's like a digital safe. Unless someone has the combination, that is, your private key, they can't touch your coins. Every transaction is encrypted, which means even if someone sees it on the blockchain, they can't figure out who is behind it. It's like sending a secret message where only you and the recipient knows what's inside. That being said, just like you wouldn't leave your house keys under your doormat, you need to keep your private keys secured. If you lose it, your coins are gone forever. No customer support, no forget your password button. It's like locking yourself out of a digital treasure chest. So, is crypto safe? Absolutely, if you follow the rules. Don't share your private keys, use secure wallet, and for the love of crypto, avoid anything that sounds too good to be true. Now that we've got the safety covered, let's talk about what makes crypto so cool and why people are so obsessed with it. Spoiler, it's more than just money. Though, let's be honest, that's a big part of it.
I make so much money on Bitcoin and crypto currently. So, not my crypto, as crypto currently.
I'm the currency, man.
Yes, at least you know the name. I have the money.
First up, crypto is global. You can send money to anyone, anywhere, without worrying about exchange rate or bank hours. It's like having a universal currency in your pocket, except it's on your phone. And let's say you're in the UK and want to send money to a friend in Japan. With crypto, it's as easy as hitting send. No waiting for 3 days for a bank transfer, no paying a chunk of fees, just boom, done. Then there is decentralization. With crypto, there is no central authority telling you what you can or cannot do with your money. It's financial freedom, plain and simple. No banks, no middleman, just you and your wallet. And let's not forget the privacy concern. While every transaction is visible on the blockchain, your identity isn't. It's like being in a group chat where everyone can see the message, but no one knows who sent them. But here's the kicker. Crypto isn't just about buying and selling. people are actually using it to create entire digital economies. For example, there's decentralized finance or DeFi, which people use for lending and borrowing. There's NFT for owning digital art. There's even smart contracts, which are like automated agreements that don't need a lawyer. It's a whole new world of possibilities. So yeah, people love cryptocurrencies because it's fast, it's borderless, it's private, and it's packed with innovation. So it's not just changing the way we think about money, it's changing how we think about trust and ownership. Let's take a moment to look ahead. Will crypto become the money of the future, or will it fade away like, say, MySpace? Well, that's the big question, is it? And there are strong arguments on both sides. First, let's talk about the Bitcoin ETFs. Last year, the buzz has been all about BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, which has already surpassed its gold ETFs. Even though gold ETFs have been around for over 2 decades, that's a huge signal of confidence in Bitcoin for major financial players. And BlackRock isn't the only one. More Bitcoin ETFs are hitting the market and making it easier for everyday investors to jump in. Oh, and it's not just the ETFs, is it? Institutions are loading up on Bitcoin like it's the new gold. Companies like MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, Marathon Digital have added massive amounts of Bitcoins to their treasury. On the last day of 2024, MicroStrategy alone holds over 446,000 Bitcoins. That's over 44 billion at a Bitcoin price of $100,000. It's not just hype. These companies see Bitcoin as a long-term asset and a hedge against inflation, and more importantly, as a strategic reserve. But it's not just businesses, is it? Governments are getting involved too. El Salvador led the charge by adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender and making it a strategic reserve. They even built a Bitcoin city powered by volcano energy, and how cool is that? Other countries are watching closely. Proposals to add Bitcoin to strategic national reserves are gaining traction around the world, including the United States. Even the new president just signed into law the, what's it called again? The Strategic Digital Asset Stockpile. Yeah. And even some US states are considering bills to integrate Bitcoin into their own strategic reserve. So think about it for a minute. If the government start treating Bitcoin as a global reserve asset, it could change the game entirely. It might not replace money outrightly, but it could sit alongside gold as a new store of value. But let's not forget about the challenges. Regulations are still all over the place, though they are becoming clearer by the minute. Even then, we still have the scalability issues and the environmental impact of mining as a hot topic. And then there's a question of adoption. Will people and government trust Bitcoin enough to make it part of the everyday life? So, what do you think? Is crypto on its way to becoming the backbone of our financial future? Or is it just a passing trend? Let me know in the comments. The debate is far from over. And I really hope you enjoyed this simplified deep dive into how cryptocurrency works. So if you enjoyed it or learned something new, consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.